All right, let's find out if you can blow paint off your car using a pressure washer. Now, I've seen online in detailing forums a lot, people are saying you should use a lower PSI pressure washer because you could actually damage your paint. I've been washing my car with this gas pressure washer for a couple years. I've never had any issues washing several cars, blowing paint off, and I use a 40-degree nozzle here. So I'm assuming nobody's going to try to use the 0 or 25-degree nozzle. That would provide much too concentrated of a pressure stream, and we don't want that because it could damage your paint. But let's try with the 40 degrees and see if you really do need to be careful. I haven't had any issues, but I use this pressure washer at a distance. So obviously the pressure drops dramatically from a distance of 1 inch to 6 inches to 12 inches to a couple feet. So as long as you don't get the nozzle right up against the car, you're not going to have any issues. Now you can see I'm trying this out on this gorgeous race car that I've got. We've got different body panels on it. This is an endurance car. I'm getting ready to completely strip this car and repaint it. We've been racing this car for about 6 years in endurance racing, 24-hour long races. You can see we've had some crashes, we've had some dents. This paint is Rust-Oleum rolled on paint. This is original OEM. This car was brown paint underneath, and then we've got white hoods, white fenders. This is OEM paint also, so old, because this paint, the fenders and the hood, you know, we've had so many crashes, we've had to replace things as we went along. So let's give this a shot, fire up the pressure washer, and let's see what happens. Let's see if it's actually true. Now, obviously don't try this on a car that you care about. I'm intentionally trying to strip this paint, and so I'm not really worried here about what's gonna happen. I think we're gonna be able to blow some paint off this car. So let's try the roll-on Rust-Oleum paint first, and let's just see what happens. This would, you know, kind of mimic, this is a bad test because this paint was not properly prepared. You can see this paint's coming off just from where I had stickers on the car. When I peeled the stickers off, the sticker pulled the paint off. So this is not a good test, but maybe like some really old single stage paints, this would kind of mimic it. Let's see what happens. So if you keep the pressure washer nozzle here at a distance of about, that's about 6 or 8 inches, no issue. Now I might be able to catch an edge here. Let's see what happens if I catch an edge on where the paint's kind of peeling up and see if we can get some off. Still nothing. So the danger of using these higher powered gas pressure washers is not if you're using it properly and keeping it at a distance. It's what happens if you make a mistake and it gets close, right? You make a mistake and it gets close. Let's try first at a distance up here on the white paint. We'll just shoot this. Nothing. Paint still looks as terrible as it did before, but not any worse. All right, so the danger is, what if, you know, you're trying to get something out of the bucket, or you're squeezing, or you turn your head and the nozzle gets really close to the paint? Is that enough pressure to actually blow it off? So come back here. We'll go right inside. So no damage right there. These 2 marks that you see, those were there, but let's just. So I held that there for, I don't know, 2 or 3 seconds, and then it started to pop off. Once you get that edge, you can get it going. So I don't think this would happen unless you were really not paying attention. You know, you come in close for a second, nothing happens. It's when you get in really tight and hold it there, that's gonna be enough to take some of that paint off. So you do need to be careful. And obviously this is not a very scientific test. Different paints are gonna be on in different ways, different hardnesses, different thicknesses, things like that. But you do need to be careful. Let's try up here. And this is, again, the red is Rust-Oleum rolled on paint. So this is not adhered to the car the way OEM paint would be. Okay, so let's try up here on some factory paint and see if we can get some of this to come off. nothing there. So that's a 3100 PSI pressure washer on a 40-degree nozzle, but that's almost meaningless at this point because I've got it right up against the paint and I'm not getting anything. But you can see here, earlier I did get some off, so let's try again and see what we can do. So again, you have like a second or two. If you keep it really right up against the paint for a second or two, you are going to blow paint right off your car using a high PSI pressure washer. But I have no concerns that keeping this at a distance of a foot, even at a distance of about 8 inches, I don't think you're going to blow paint off of any car at a distance of about 8 inches. Unless maybe you had a situation like this where you've already got a crack and then you catch an edge. Because at 8 inches, even with a 3100 PSI pressure washer, you could put your hand in front of the stream and you're gonna feel it, but it's not gonna take the paint, the skin off your hand or anything like that. So keep the pressure washer at a safe distance from your car and you'll be just fine. Don't get it right up against the paint and start, looking at something else or forgetting what you're doing, because you are gonna blow some little holes in your paint.